The Football Financial Show. I'm Chika, and I'm joined by Frank
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the show.
and then Kingsley.
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be on the show today.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. So let's go. Let's go. So today we'll be previewing the three giants of La Liga with a focus on their transfer dealings so far.
Yes.
So starting with Real Madrid, Frank, what do you expect from them next season? How do you think they'll fare?
I think I think expectations will be as always high for Real Madrid again this season, especially with the new addition of Kylian Mbappe. So I'm expecting a good and successful defense of their Spanish title, and we'll see. And it's going to be interesting to see how, from a tactical point of view, how all these attacking flair players can get into a team working together. Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo, Vinicius, and the big man himself, Kylian Mbappe. So I'm very excited to see Real Madrid this season.
Do you think they'll win the title? How do you raise their transfer dealings?
Transfer dealings, I'll rate it. I think it's a bit hard not to rate it a 10 out of 10, considering they have him, but they just signed Mbappe. But I think they're missing a key component in that squad, and that is a playmaker or a deep line playmaker like Toni Kroos, who just retired from traditional professional football. I think they still need that profile of player. But it's also going to be interesting to see how the likes of Camavinga and Chomeni come into their own and take more responsibility in the team this season. But I feel if there's any coach in football right now that can find solutions to this problem, is Carlo Ancelotti, and I feel they are going to go all the way this season.
Do you think that to retain the title or it feel
Yeah,
there is?
my money is on Real Madrid this season. Comfortably on Real Madrid to defend that title comfortably this
Okay. Guess what do you think? What do you
Well,
expect from?
yeah, Real Madrid is always going to be favorite for any competition. They're worthy contenders. However, just going by record a little bit, right? So I have a feeling that we might be seeing something very close to the Galactical glitch, as a lot of Barcelona fans would like to call it, where there are too many stars in one pod and they're going to struggle to see who's going to shine most. Last season they had a walkover in the sense that the Birmingham came in with less pressure, but there's a Kylian Mbappe, and you can see what happened with Kylian Mbappe in PSG with Lionel Messi as Neymar. He always want to be the star boy. I don't expect anything different. So that disruption in the team this campaign could be something else. And also, like Frank alluded, they're gonna miss the presence of and on field leadership captain Cruz, it's going to be a challenge as well for them to do that, to fill that vote, which is very, very. I just also feel like Mali kind of struggled to retain the La Liga title in recent years, so they've really never had to defend that championship back to back. So, and then there's something cooking on the other side of the conversation. I feel like absolutely. So I feel like right now, it's very easy to go on paper and say, here you go, another Galacticos, here you go, another walkover for Real Madrid. But I would say hold your horses, everyone, hold your horses, because this La Liga campaign is going to be more interesting than a lot of people are currently envisaging. So
Okay.
for me, the chances to win La Liga is not as glaring as it looks on paper.
Okay, Frank, what do you see as their strengths
Their strengths,
and their
well,
weakness?
I think their biggest strength is actually off the pitch, and it's the manager they have, Carlo Ancelotti, and he's a manager that's shown, especially at Real Madrid in the past, he knows how to get his best players on the pitch at the same time working in unison for greater good. He knows how to get players to strip the ego away, come on the pitch and work for each other in an harmonious way. And then you then look at the firepower they have. You can't look past the firepower they have, the solidity in defense they have, the stature of Thibaut Courtois in goal. Rudiger has been one of the best centre backs in European football for a long time. Edgar Militao is coming back to full fitness, so that will be another interesting points to look at. They still have the experience of Carvajal right back. They have, I think that was one of Spanish captains just at Euros. They have the influence of Modric off the bench and his experience in the locker room. They have Jude Bellingham in terms of his goals, his creativity, overall way he imposes his will on games, and the pace, the finishing, the flair of Vinicius, Rodrigo on the other side. And also, let's not forget young players like Brahim Diaz and Turkish wonder kid Adel Güler on the sidelines, who waiting for opportunities to impress. So I think in terms of squad depth, they're quite stacked in midfield and attacking areas. The only question might be at centre back and left back, especially with the recent departure of
Nacho.
club captain Nacho and David Alaba's injury worries as well. So I think that's probably a big question mark in the squad.
Okay, Kingsley, what do you see as your strength and their weakness?
The funny thing is, I'm on the other side of Frank's conversation and the strength being Carlo Ancelotti.
Okay.
You guys may agree or not that part of Ancelotti's blind spot or weak point is that he doesn't do beyond his first team. If you don't make it in that first 11, your game time would significantly be impacted throughout the season. Right now, it's very difficult to argue except they want to play four attackers. There's a strong argument for Rodrigo to be in the starting 11. There's the same argument for Vinicius. There's the same argument for Mbappe. There's Jude Bellingham there as well. And then also, don't forget there's Hendrick knocking at the door. And Adebayor is equally good. So the
Yeah.
question is, who's going to be the first 11? And how will the others that don't make that first 11, how would they react to the team chemistry? Now, you can argue that there might be a lot of football coming up this season, but Ancelotti doesn't do well after his first 11. So my question is, can you keep the squad healthy with its stars packed? And also, do Real Madrid have the patience from the fan base to wait and figure out who's exactly going to be the first 11? So, with all of that, and some of the other again in general if you think about it, like there was also additional pressure coming in this season because people are starting to say we want Real Madrid to show the ability to retain La Liga back to back, something that is not really they can't really pride around. So that additional pressure that they just feel when they go in on the UEFA Champions League night is gonna be there this season in La Liga. So I don't know how to overcome that if they would, but that is it. So I feel like there's a challenge there with Ancelotti, and also it's a make it or break it season for a couple of stars because this is the time for Vinicius to prove that this is his team, and I don't think
Yes.
I don't
There you
think
go.
Mbappe is gonna sit behind and say, here you go. So let's see how that plays out.
Okay, subjectively left to me, I don't think they'll have a problem. And this is what I don't think. I think their strength to me is their attack. Because when you have Bellingham, you have Vinicius, you have Rodrigo, you have Mbappe. I don't think they can go to sleep. They will create something. They'll make chances, right? That's what I think. But their weakness to me is their midfield. They are not going to be creative enough in that midfield because, but also it could be their strength because you have Camavinga, you have Truman, you have the Bambeda, it depends. You can call him an midfielder, you can call him an attacker, all those. But in that midfield, they could be defensively solid, but not the offense can suffer because of this later. So I don't really think the offense needs the midfield to create more because if you have these four players on front, they will create. And I think they are good enough. They're not gonna have issues. That's what I think. I don't know.
I
Except
agree.
Gini doesn't. If Gini wants to win, you have to ask, well, who is their face? Well, even if Mbappe finished even to be the face of Real I don't care on them. Even if Mbappe scored 7 goals, he came there before he is. If I not pay Madrid to that team or ability player, or if you see the way he plays like he's from Madrid. So the thing I see is they might say Rodrigo after this is after he does, but they also have Brahim of Diaz or whatever. They have Ceballos. Well, the midfield is the weakness in terms of offense. But the defense, I don't see it as a weakness because now Nacho has left. Either Militao was injured, he's back. They have Rudiger, they have Tena, they have Carvajal. You can see that argue that these three players that I don't think they are going to get better. They're only going to decline. We don't know when Carvajal kind of is going to set it. But for me, I don't think it's going to be next season. The Rudiger, the same thing on the lights, they have Mendy or whatever. He's good. He's always injured, but he's injured. They have a lava. The problem I have is that this season they start telling how that parade on how to calm that defense. They are old. Remember, Courtois was injured for most of last season, and they still did very good. Okala has won so many titles, but sometimes it's easier said than done, right? Also, I think Barca is too early for them. That's what I just knew it's theirs to win. The league title is theirs to win. Well, let's see how it goes. But so far, the transfer window, they've done very, very good. So they're overrated in attack also. They're overrated in attack very, very well. Well, let's see how Ancelotti, what I like about him, he does very, very well by not being boxing. He doesn't, he's in this.
I agree. That's
He don't
that's a
commit
good
offense
point.
that is like, whatever works for him. But sometimes it can be very, very disastrous. I remember I said us teenagers were and also I knew because of injury. But
Yeah.
let's see. Okay, let's move over to the next team. Atletico Madrid. Fred, what do you think about your chances? How do you see them this season?
Atletico Madrid is they've made some interesting moves in the transfer window. In my opinion, I don't think it's quite enough because they've replaced strikers they've lost a midfielder they've lost in Gallagher as well. But I think their biggest issue as a position they've not really strengthened. But be it they've only sent one centre back so far. But I think Atletico Madrid, Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid team was built on a defensive foundation. It wasn't about the attacking players, it was about the rigidity of the back line, a solid goalkeeper in Oblak behind them, and they go from there. And in recent years, I think they've been quite defensive, they've been quite porous, they've been stuck in two schools of thought where they're trying to be a more possession team, a more attacking team, but also trying to keep that same defensive rigidity they've built their successes on. And aging defenders like Jose Jimenez, Axel
Yeah.
Witsel, Aspilicueta, that's not really convincing backline. Although they've added a Spanish Euro Championship winner, Lenormand, but I don't think it's quite enough going forward. But move on to the midfield. You have Koke. Koke is getting towards the twilight of his career. Can he still
So
control games?
it's Lema that's in the team already.
He's still there. He's still that's a good option on the left wing position or left wing back position. Well, can Koke still control games? Can he control the games with intensity, with his passes as he used to? Gallagher, we all know what Conor Gallagher is. He's going to come. He's going to bring the running energy, the tempo, the intensity, the pressing, all those facets of his gameplay. But I think they lack a bit of guile and creativity as well because Griezmann, the reporter, is on his way to LA in MLS, and it's there are a lot of moving parts and a lot of incoming parts as well. Then you see strikers, Julian Alvarez, who's soon to be revealed as a new signing. He's a player of big pedigree. He's as good as they come in terms of playmaking, playing a variety of positions or variety of roles in the team, playing behind a frontman or playing as a lone striker, creating for teammates and showcasing his good finishing abilities. It's interesting, but I think ultimately they might just fall short, in my opinion.
Okay. Yes, sir, what do you think?
As a football lover, this is an exciting thing to watch, and it's interesting to see Atletico Madrid go back to two forwards, going back to their root. And if you notice, one thing that Atletico always have for them is the history with great strikers. Go back the years
Yeah,
of Forlan, Kun Aguero, name it,
maybe
Falcao, name it. So they
they
know how to
actually
get
matter.
the exactly.
Yeah.
They know how to get those strikers to perform. And then thinking of the second top La Liga striker for last season joining the team in Solange. And then you also have Julian Alvarez pairing up there with him. And let's not forget there's a World Cup winning the ball in that team to partner with Colombo. And then you've got defense reinforcement in the number, and also some of the players who were on those that were coming back to the squad. I think Atletico is building behind the scene and people are looking at the surface.
They
And
are
I think
rebuilding.
absolutely,
They're
and I
rebuilding.
think to keep
Because
incident.
the next one is joining us leave. That's Saudi 33 have also 29, so you got 28 for let's cut 33. That's a review. Four designers all in the first team.
But how many have come in?
Absolutely.
But how many have come in?
So
One.
One.
we still have a
Yeah, we
few
still,
weeks
yeah,
to the
yeah.
end of the transfer market, and if you notice, there's a pattern in them, working in silence, and you only hear things when they're about to materialize. So also there's something that I feel like they displayed so far in this transfer market, which is they would not be bullied, they will not be cajoled into spending what they don't want to spend. Say, for example, look at the pursuit of Zimbabwe that has to leave. They have to back out of that due to a couple of additional dollars that they could have spent if they don't have a strategy behind it. If I were an Atletico Madrid fan, definitely there's a lot to be excited about. But is this the season for them to lift the La Liga title? I would say it's a big jump going from fourth to best in La Liga, especially
And
with other teams
they
being
were They were 17 points. That's a lot.
points behind
And,
Real
and
Madrid.
also 68 goals for Arsenal in 3 days. That's the most in Diego Simeone's 11 years. Uh,
And that's where my worry lies in, because Atletico Madrid, if you to keep up pace with the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona, you need to be solid enough, not conceding goals, but also have a good firepower in attack. But I think defensively, they've not shown characteristics of a Simeone team defensively in a long time. And if you look back at the Champions League knockout game against Borussia Dortmund, where they went to Germany with a 1 goal lead, and they ultimately collapsed at Borussia Dortmund. That's for me that's a big worry in terms of the mentality and the capability to suffer under pressure and come through the other side. Not necessarily playing well, but just being solid at the back and believing in your attacking players to make something happen. Griezmann always has, or Morata or Suarez when he was there. But I just think they concede too many goals. It's a big worry. It's a big worry for me.
yes, we're losing these.
And,
Yeah,
and, I,
listen.
and I absolutely agree that conceding so many goals was one of the biggest problems why they didn't meet their objective for last season. But also, like you guys pointed out earlier in the conversation, they let 4 of those culprits out of the ball. So it says that they know this problem and they're not
Yeah,
just
that's true.
holding their hand. So they're doing something to fix it. And now it's usually a hit or miss in the first season with such wonder of transitioning by mid-year coming into Atletico Madrid. But what I wanted to mention to you guys is that Atletico Madrid is building, and they're building strategically. They started with the renovation of the Wanda State Metropolitan. That is more capacity. That is
Yeah,
where some of these
yeah,
funds are
yeah, yeah.
coming from to be more
And they said they
accessible and
sold the other
financially.
stadiums for building construction. They sold the other stadium to a company to build an apartments over there. So they have that money coming. They also
Exactly.
they training. They are building a new training something in at the Wanda Metropolitan or yeah, continue.
Exactly. So if you look at it properly, you will see that there is a strategic um reconstruction of the club overall, and that is reflective of the players that they're purchasing. You guys shouldn't also forget that they're paying one of the biggest bucks to the coach in all of
He's yeah,
English football right
he's
now,
he's one of
right
the
now.
highest paid
It's
coaches in
has
world
paid,
football.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but they say
exactly.
we negotiated his contract as they reduced his contract. I think that to be athletic. But I think it's still highly paid. They say they renegotiated, but that tells you that the option themselves, maybe if you did the one, I have to pay the yeah, continue. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and so there's all of that, and then don't forget the Argentine partnership that is going to cook up there. There is the understanding that would come with the ball and
Yeah,
Julian Alvarez, and people almost always forget that Diego Simeone himself is not just Spanish; he is Argentine. So that mentality, that communication, that expression, we would expect to see that radiate into success on the pitch. But it's about going to be enough to give them the La Liga title. I think they might just come slightly behind Barcelona and Real Madrid if you ask me, but it would be really, really an exciting season to get Atletico Madrid fans and to enjoy the football.
Uh, I'll read the eyes. I'll see something I never thought about. This is all I prefer saying here. But checking what I observed, I think it's a mistake. And it will blow up in their face, just like I talk about shots. This is why. If you are reviewed,
Chelsea.
if you are reviewing Davis Simeone not once, listen, he lets 4 defenders shot Sonim on 28, Paulista 33. Then the two people who are remaining are Witzel, expire as equate that there's 4. So what was it thinking? This is just Ancelotti's AC Milan 2.0. If the AC Milan he left, that means these are Cope is still the devil you know is better than how do they say that the angel how do they say that the devil is not better than the angel you don't know. So I'm thinking I would have taken the risk if I had to over me to spend. I won't let you to spend that money. Because to me, but another thing I find interesting is I don't know if he's gonna bring better with the attack. He's this season now he's going to top something he never hooked up. But to me, I like the guy. Taking so much is very, very good, but I'm not giving him too much more revenue to revamp because if it doesn't work out now, how about the Alvarez go? To me, I'll just let him go. I'll expect them to challenge, yes, but I like their signings so far. I like their signings. They have David Allen, all they have from Rest, see that Carlos Jimenez, I think 21 from Unitas or whatever. Manduva, 30 years, Molino, 23 years. They have some, they're only Correct. That the guy like has been there for days. He's not convincing enough. It's like Alvaro Morata. He does all the playing. Is it the same guy that was in Inter Milan? Is it the same Korea now? I think it's the same guy.
Andre Korea? Oh, no, no,
Yeah.
no, it's not. It's not. It's not.
But they had
It's not. It's
Korea
not.
that
It's
was
not.
past you and Inter Milan also. They had
That's
one.
a that's Joaquin Correa.
Okay, okay.
That's another
Well,
player.
this guy has been there for long also. To me, I think they will challenge though. They will challenge, but I don't think they're going far. Now finish top four.
Yeah.
Well, all this like let's go sky, more lessons to know that get the young coach. I don't care. Big him say has to sit that I'll take the risk on that coach. And then maybe I'll start a little bit for some time. But I'm not letting him stand down. Okay,
Okay.
let's go
Okay.
to the last person. I don't think will be linking his lips at his heart right now because he's just going like bread and butter. Listen, hey,
Okay. Talk to us about Barcelona,
please
Kingston.
don't say. Or you how long is it for Barcelona? This is when is yours, my Liga? I don't know.
Uh,
Is there money?
well, I would say if Real Madrid was the best, arguably the best player in world football, I would say Barcelona did a masterstroke in coaching. We're bringing in a coach that has won the treble, a coach that has club experience, that has both club and national team experience, and also a coach that can build from the core of the German football. We've got a German goalkeeper, we've got a German midfielder, we've got a striker that did absolutely well in German football in Lewandowski, and all of those examples of how to rebuild, to your point, if Atletico Madrid is spending wrong money keeping Diego Simeone to rebuild, maybe Barcelona had gone the other route. Maybe. No offense to both families with Barcelona on the last couple of seasons, but if you want a fresh page, you have to buy a fresh book. Not just that, also there are a lot of exceptional talents in the likes of Gavi, Pedri, etc. That didn't lead to their potential last season for injury, and those guys will be expected to come back into the squad and incorporate. There's Yamin Anwar that can disrupt any kind of defender at the moment. It's not also a coincidence that Barcelona would have on their lineup next season the top goal scorer for Euro in Olmos, and also the top goal scorer for Spain in the Olympics in France Youth. They've got a lot of good things cooking for them, right? Not to say as well, never ending emergence of talented players coming from La Masia. Like we've got
that's the
Cuba
biggest.
Flames,
That is the
right?
biggest asset. That's the biggest.
Exactly. So we've got that. So there's also that question mark for opponents to think, how do we defend against this Barcelona? What do we expect against this Barcelona team? And it just feels like every other 3 months there's another special talent, excuse me, that Barcelona can throw in the mix, and it can cause an imbalance for the opponents. And also, thinking about the Real Madrid team and talking about the Asian players, looking at Atletico Madrid and talking about the Asian players, but you look at Barcelona, you're talking about the direct opposite. You've got young bloods in every position. And then also you've got an active coach that is really willing to solve some of the problems that Barcelona came short of last season, which was lack of energy, lack of pressing, no
I think a lot of
physicality.
it's built a lot of person.
Exactly, no physicality, some consistent injury. I mean, rumor or the media has it that Jonathan Pancevic has gone as much as doing dental examination of players because he believes there's a science between the dental structure and how it affects injury. So we're talking about a manager that understands every fine detail in coaching, and then is trying to replicate that. And also, if you did follow Barcelona in some of the preseason games, you can see that there will be a very fluid change in formation in games. Moving from 4-2-3-1 to 4-3-3 and even 5-3-2, and all of those kind of things make it very exciting. Although the problem Barcelona had last season um, is not in scoring goals. Not that they scored too many goals, is that they allowed too many goals at the back, right? So this season there's a high possibility that there might be more goals let in as well, but there will be enough goals scored up front. I mean, last season almost a 1-0 or 2-1 victory whenever Barcelona won a football game. But I don't expect Hansi Flick to do that this season. I expect him to go in there and maybe see a 4 or 5, a couple of goals scored, and maybe a little more um, defensive reinforcement at the back as well. So all of these things makes it very, very, very exciting to for Barcelona, and increases their chances. And also, let's not forget, I mean, it's not confirmed, but there's a possibility that we might be seeing the two flankmen that destroyed all of the
Yeah, yeah,
European
yeah.
giants in Barcelona this
To
season. We
me,
can see
I
that.
think if you ask me, I think he will play the long. This is why he hasn't come out since they. That's you should actually, I think, towards the end of the transfer window, he will make the move because if you want, he would have said it. That means he's still having double mind if it's ready to
Well,
go.
if you follow Barcelona closely in the last 4 years, you will know that it's not short of a soft opera. There's a lot of drama there. I, as a Barca fan, wouldn't like keep my hopes so high or not people this will come. If it comes, I'll be more than happy to watch that, to watch and share of things in the renovated company come the start of next year. And that's another thing Barcelona
But
missed last
also,
season as
also
well. Last
doesn't do
season.
not playing in Camp Nou like the this are these cheapers. The fact
Yes,
that
indeed, absolutely. It's absolutely
Yeah.
companies a
so
fortress.
they're going
Companies
back to
arguably the
the
biggest. Yes,
yeah,
companies arguably the biggest footballing
they could win like three
contingents
games.
in world football. So yes, absolutely there is that. But bear in mind that half of the season anyways is played outside of camping this season as well. So it's just about staying close enough to the competition up until December and see if camping will upgrade for another sport events in January. So there is that as well. And also, there is a never-ending drama with Laporta being in charge. So that's why I'm not having my hopes too high with Nico Williams because that deal might, you might just be going to allow a lot of transfer to realize it won't come through. But I like to see that there is a lot of players that House of League can rely on. There is our Victor Queen up there as well. There is the decision around what to do with Victor Roque. There is or like last season, there are a lot of options right now in attack, and it's relieving to know that Barcelona wouldn't go into the season as Lewandowski the only option for striking. So all of those things, in my opinion, just allows me to keep them just a little bit above the other two things in the potential
Oh,
to reclaim the La Liga championship.
Okay.
okay, so try hold on, please. I have three, just I give you 40 seconds, please. After this, just be very, very fast. I have four questions for you. Just try and be fast, 40 seconds each. Don't you think Barcelona, some of their players are simple? It's Lewandowski, Inigo Martinez, Lenglet, or whatever. That's too old. Just 1 minute, then the likes of Rafinha, Konde, Area, they haven't stepped up. To me, I don't know. Chris says it a lot, like they have like Rudiger has stepped up on the other side. I know they are not the same level, but Chris says he hasn't got the same. That's two on two, that's two of them, and then usually you need the fleet is my guy. Or when I saw him with the German team, so just give me what's your confidence with this. I give you like a minute, just catch some please for audience. Can you answer that for me? Like comments to do
Okay.
that.
Yes. So my recommendation would be that don't worry too much about some of the sport players that you mentioned. I don't think we expect a lot of football from Longley. I also think we need to have that balance of youth and experience in
Yeah.
Lewandowski. I also feel like Godogan would be pivotal to sub games. So in my opinion, I feel like Hansi Flick would bring in the fresh idea. I feel like part of what happened last season in Barcelona was that people got tired of Xavi's kind of football and ideas, and it's good to have that fresh change. Now, whatever happened in the German national team, national football, international football, was a little bit different. My observation is that Hansi Flick needs more time with the players to communicate his ideas, and that was why he excelled extremely well in Bayern Munich. Let's see whether Rovati can replicate that in Barcelona. But if you ask me, does that tip them to make them La Liga champions? I would say yes. But would that put them in a position to do well in knockout football? I would say no.
Yeah, answer pretty well. Oh, Florence, what is it?
Okay. I think there are a lot of factors we have to look at in terms of Barcelona's upcoming season, and I think to start with, we start with Hansi Flick. And like I said when we talked about Real Madrid, and I felt Ancelotti is Real Madrid's secret weapon. I feel the questions about that will be asked about Hansi Flick this season will be a lot in terms of stylistically, cultural fields coming from German football, the whole gegen pressing style of football to the Spanish football, especially Catalonian style of football, where they're expected to be methodical, precise, even on formations 4-3-3 like Cruyff designed. Would it be more control of possession, or would it be a more counter-attacking team, high press, counter-attack with pace, with wide threats in attack? And also, one of Flick's biggest issues with the national team and his second season at Bayern Munich was his inability to coach the team properly to defend in transitions. And if I remember correctly, I think Barcelona also had that problem last season with Xavi. They couldn't quite get the right balance in midfield to stop teams breaking on them on the counter attack. Do they have enough goals in the team? That's another question I will ask. Because other than Lewandowski last season, nobody in the league scored more than 10 goals, if I remember correctly. You also about Lewandowski, he's turning 35, 36, 36 this month. Can he still be the guy to lead the team or lead the
No,
team consistently?
you know what? I won't worry about him from Barca first. I thought the should see, but if I have Yamal on the right and Omo on the left, I'm not worried, even if he's 100 years old, because these two
But
guys will partners.
yeah,
Also,
but
to me, around those two guys,
no, but it matters though, and this is why back to the stylistic point where if you're trying to play a pressing team, it's either you're pressing or you're not pressing. You can't press with 8 or 9. You need to press with in fact you need to press with 10 outfield players at the same time in unison, and everyone putting in the
they can
shift.
play 60 minutes every game and they get expected if somebody's from
Yeah,
practicing.
so
Then
then the that question is yet to be the answers are yet to be seen. With the new addition of Dani Olmo, this is a fantastic player, but I have issues in terms of his consistency. Because ultimately, when he was in Germany, he barely played more than 50% of Leverkusen. RB Leipzig's domestic games. He has a lot of not fitness issues, but he misses a lot of games. And I believe whenever he's on the pitch, he will always
how much
bring
was
his
this sign
quality.
for?
About 6 million.
Jesus.
60.
That's the same thing with Neto.
It's yeah, it's a
Yeah.
and just like with Neto, it comes with his own injury question marks as well. So
He has one.
it's a unique situation. But I also add Flick has found his with his Bayern stint, he found a way to get the team collectively to a certain level of fitness that I think Bayern Munich players have not seen for a long time after Pep left, where they were all physically fit. You could see that physical improvements from players like Goretzka, Kimmich, and Cole. I think that aspect will help Barcelona in terms of their injury problems. But I just think ultimately they have a lot of good parts in the young players from La Masia, Yamal,
They
Fermin
have it.
Lopez. We just saw
Jesus.
at the Olympics.
Casado,
Um,
Faye, Bentown, Julius,
they have a
I don't
lot.
even know their names. This is Spanish. The Olympic team has state players for the starting 11 at least. Eight.
Exactly.
That's like
It's
Jesus Christ. They
so
have a
that's a
lot.
lot. They have a lot. They have a 17-year-old Paul Kubasi who was fantastic last season. Arroyo is another interesting player where he seemed he had everything right to become one of the best defenders in Europe. But I think last season
They
was
never did.
a bit of a struggle for him on the pitch. But also I'll put that down to the team's inability to defend properly as a collective. But I think they have a lot of moving parts, but I don't think they have the consistency or the goal scoring power to outmatch Real Madrid, in my opinion.
Okay, this is what I think. To me, it's too early for me. I think if you're thinking of winning the league, like I said, saying should call for failing. Like, if he wins, he can do it. But if he doesn't, he will. I'm so tested because I was always an certain type. I don't like Zan. I never liked Xavi as a player. But what's that been made to me that I always emphasize is sustainability. The way he mounts on
Exactly.
the academic players. I'm like, Jesus, I never thought this would happen. I was seeing players facing me, so I was trusting them was these guys were delivering for him. But there was a day, it's the game I watched, was it Atletico? Was it Bilbao or something? Because she's like 3 months towards the end and you lost the game. I was
That's
like, yeah,
Villarreal.
but
Was
can't do it.
Was it
That's
five
Villarreal
three?
5-3.
Can't do it. You
That
can't
was
do
that
it.
was a
And I
fantastic day.
understand. To me, I would have kept him again when they make their choice. But it is any manager I can want to take over from Xavi is trick. I like trick. I want I like trick. You know, I'm not too crazy in position football. I'm not a tech fan because I feel that football can be played different ways. It's not only one way. You don't have to cheat the ball. Everybody's crazy. Nobody wants. That's why I like the device of Ancelotti. I like it because it's direct. And I noted something. In the team you have only, you have Yamal, you have Rafinha, you have only, you have Rafael, you have Rafinha, you have Olmo. So going direct is very true. This guy have energy to run from left to right. So to me, Brighton will not be an issue with that because they have the young players that have the energy. And also, when you notice, if you notice very, very well, sometimes when you have a school of thought like a positive manager, he comes to the English league, there are certain things around the English league. He has the
That's true.
opportunity to let to ease. So if Flick brings, because whatever we think about Barcelona side of play, this crowd did not bring because started from was he from Michels, they done all the you the Netherlands or whatever. They just needed
Ruben Smith.
Michels, they just needed to try and put out some balls, Ajax, that came to Barcelona, polished it and did better. So now, what I'm trying to say, I'm not saying that Fitch found the same or I'm respecting him to law. I'm saying he's not afraid of changes. And also, one of the things he changed that I like was when I read that he told us to fight that, don't worry, whatever, I'll look at you, you're part of my clan. I liked it so much because I know that they go there without just some hesitate or hand. Because to
And go,
me,
yeah.
it becomes the what has to fight wants for himself. You shouldn't have fighting. There must be a problem. You can't be having but they get somebody. But I'm saying I need to be a sport player. If Yama is training like 70 minutes and I'm looking for something, I think you can put as a fact or whatever. But you're not going to use that. I can give you some key games and rest of players. Then I have to put that on as my captain again. Which better captain? When I mean captain, I don't mean this. Anybody can have the arm. I'm saying the closest person to the manager, to talk to the manager, to impact whatever to the players. You can also put that on. It makes it easier for him to transmit ideas around. But what I saw within the German national team, he was I wasn't impressed though. Well, that's the national team. Maybe she needs a lot of training. Maybe some managers don't like those international games because there's just training every week or something. But I expect a lot. I think they will do very, very well. Yeah, it has. So that's what I think. But challenging. I think you might have touched him, but you never that door all that have. The way the academy players are stepping up to me. And if I'm him, I'm looking at the league back to Champions League, I'm not thinking about Champions. Cover the early. Champions League, once I get to quarter final, I'm okay with that. That's my talent. But I think they're in good hands. Well, also, I like the way they're trusting their young players now because they are just buying players. I'm not a Rafinha guy. You like Rafinha. In fact, I kept telling you, like, how's there that amount of
Who?
you
Who
like
likes
Rafinha.
Rafinha?
You,
Me,
you
not
like,
me. Oh,
but
that's
the,
from Richard, not
the
me.
less you trust in
No,
the
no.
academy, and the academy has, like, I don't know how they do that. They're the best in the
See,
game.
if I may
So,
come in, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
If I may come in, there was something everybody forgets too soon. The season before last, Barcelona had the best defense in Europe. Absolutely best defense in Europe.
Yeah.
Last season might be the actual exposure of Barcelona defensive incapabilities, or it might be a glitch. I feel like this season is when we're going to find out because the core of those defenders are still there. We have the Kunde, we have the Arroyo, the Christensen, and the likes, and they have an
Balde.
opportunity to Balde for Kubasi. We will have an opportunity for Hansi Flick to actually test things out. And just my last 2 cents on this topic is that it would not be too much to ask Hansi Flick's Barcelona to win La Liga this season. I don't see why they can't, and I don't see why they wouldn't.
They're
Because
pushing pressure on him.
for every single position in a long time, for every single position you almost have a direct replacement that can come in and do the job. You agree with Frank? Umo has incredibly poor fitness record. So does Pedri, right? But the both of them have the
Well,
same position to fight for, right? So that puts cover there. Don't forget there is Lopez waiting to take their chance in the back of the net.
a
And you
lot
think
of
of the
development
attack as
as well. I
well.
love this. They love
Exactly, Femi Lopez. So they're waiting to take that opportunity as well. The same thing if you talk of Gudogan, you also have Gabby willing to take that play minute as well. You talk of Frank De Jong, you also have players waiting to take the opportunity. So there's a good level of squad depth. Even going up front, everybody's talking about Yanni Lamal, but Rafinha always chimes in with very important goals as well. If we look down the other side, if we have Ansu Fati back, if we have Ferran Torres back, whether or not we have Nico Williams doing. So there are players who will be there to contest for the extra minutes. So I believe that challenge with the unbiased hands of play could make sure that every Barcelona player is coming in there and appreciating every minute they have on the pitch. And that is exactly what we're missing. So So
So,
let's
just a question. What do you expect, say, Barcelona to win the title this
Well, I
season?
said that it's not good. It's not
yes,
so
I
good.
expect
Yes.
Barcelona to
You
win the
expect it?
title. They would edge it just over Real Madrid because La Liga is a 38 teams. For La Liga, it's how well you win how well you win the games that are not with Real Madrid or
You know,
Atletico Madrid.
I get what you say,
Ah,
but
ah,
why am I that
ah.
one? It's
Because
difficult.
if you think about it, Real Madrid is 6 points in the season. Atletico Madrid are all 6 points in the season. But I believe every other team beyond that is up for the taking. And that is not to say Real Madrid or Atletico would have a walkover against Barcelona. I'm not saying that, but in this Hansi Flick team with the rotation in the squad, that's something that we haven't seen before with the squad
That's
depth
true.
that
That's
we
true.
haven't
That's
seen
true.
with that. I believe the other teams are there to be roasted, and if they do put in their best foot, we're going to see how the competition is like there. We're going to see how the football. But for the knockout football, I'm still skeptical there because it's about moments, it's about real big players coming and make the difference. The Barcelona young players have like Eddie right now. I'm saying it's too soon to say that. I think that is balance how foot for Real Madrid and some other things above that in champion people. It's a top of La Liga football. Yes, this is a league.
Okay. On that note, we end today's discussion. Join us next time by this time next time, and then thanks for everyone. You have something to say to the viewers, fire?
Thank you for tuning in today, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Kingsley?
Yeah, I want viewers to hold me by my word come May next year and celebrate with me while Barcelona leads the La Liga.
I'll punk you if they
I,
don't
s- I certainly will. So thanks, guys. Have a good
Thank
one.
you. Bye bye.
Okay.